board, but we also have authorized hospitals in every single stop, wherever we go. For example, the main one here is Sydney, of course. Then you have Brisbane, you have Auckland on the next cruise. Those are the main ones, so you can go as a crew member and you have a chance to renew your certificates. You have a chance to go and get a medically checked. And this happens, we have a big vessel, we have so many people. I know, for example, many of you will wonder, is there a limit, an age limit to work on a cruise ship? You need to be 18 years of age. And I get many technicians, many musicians, many dancers who just came out of school and they're 18 and it's the first contract, and then they end up staying for 10 years because they love it so much. When I came, I had a 6-month contract. After the 5th month, I was begging celebrity to extend me. I didn't want to go home. I said, I love it so much, I want to stay here. Oh, the ship is going to Turkey. I've never been. Oh, the ship is going to Portugal. I want to go there. So you want to be there, even though you have limited time, you still want to be there and extend your contract. But there is only a certain amount of months you could officially work on a cruise ship. Unless you go home for a time, you take a break, and then you come back. Is there an age limit? 18. There's actually no real age restriction regarding age. You could be 75 working on a cruise ship. I know some crew members who are over the age of 65. They work on a cruise ship. They pass all the medical exams. They're very strong, very hard worker, and they love it. And they say, I have the best relationship with my wife because I'm away from home for 7 months a year. So it works perfect. But also, you have to go through certain medical exams. You cannot just be, 75 and try to work on a cruise ship and have a series of problems. If you do have some problems and you want to work on a cruise ship and you're over the age of 70 and you want to pass the medical exams, and no guy in Sicily for $4,000 will make you look 18. Now, moving over, there is a very long process to get on board. And I know this because I have many people who always want to ask me, friends from Italy, and they go like, oh, I want to work on a cruise ship. We see your Instagram stories, we love it. Well, you only see the good side, but they want to come and work on a cruise ship. It's a long process, it takes a while. I was very lucky, very fortunate at the time because I started working for Celebrity as a translator and an interpret. I used to be a language teacher, an interpret. I speak 6 languages, I can teach 6 languages, except for English. And at the time, I came on board and I was translating all the official documents. In some of the documents on Celebrity Cruises website, you still find my name on it because I translated it at the time in French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever language they were giving me at the time. So I had that position. When they cut that position because they said we're only trying to appeal to a crowd who can speak English or at least speaks English as a second language, they told me we're cutting your position, you have to find another job. So I was like, okay, no worries, I'm going back to Italy, I'm gonna go there. And they were like, what if you join entertainment? We see your background, we know you've been in theater, we know you've done all of these, we know you always come to the shows and all of these. And at the time it was beautiful what Celebrity did. They did training on the actual ship, where you go and you learn from cruise experts that were in the business for 50 years and they were about to retire and they couldn't wait to give the microphone to somebody else, if you know what I mean. So it was very, very beautiful. Now, if you're looking for a job for entertainment, you can find everything on the website. We do auditions in person in the main cities such as Miami, Sydney. We do big auditions in New York City, in Tampa, Florida, in the UK. And they're going to be screened for just about a few minutes. They're going to sing a song, next song, gone. You never know if you're going to make it. It's very intense, it's very hard, but it's beautiful at the same time. This is me when I started working for Celebrity Cruises. This was 2016. That is actually me. It's a true photo of me. This was my first time backstage. My grandmother used to work in a beautiful theater in Taormina, not far from the main theater. It was a small theater, and she always used to get me backstage with the kids, and we used to go on stage before the big show and recite a poem. And the first, I was very shy, I was very introvert, I'm not kidding. The first time they gave me a microphone, my life changed. Crew areas. Now, would you like to see a photo of a crew cabin? Yes? So, this is not a crew cabin. Maybe captain's quarters. captain lives on deck 13, many ask. That's why deck 13 is not accessible, because the whole deck is full of pools for Captain Constance. He has 5 horses. No, I'm joking. Deck 13, we don't have it for superstition reasons, being the company mostly American. In Italy, 17, we don't have a 17 on Italian ships. Now, this is also not a crew cabin. We have different categories of crew cabins, and I'm going to show them one by one. And these are the 3 main categories that I'm about to show you, that I already showed you. Going back with the first category. When I first started working for Celebrity, I had what is called a shared room. You share your environment with a person who is in the same department or does a very similar job to yours. So you get to share the environment. You wake each other up, you share the working hours, so you know you start at the same time, you finish at the same time. You go for meals at the same time, and it's very good because you help each other. He's your buddy, or she's your buddy. And this was very great to me because when I came, I was 22, and I started working for the company. And my friend was 35. So he had so many years of experience. He taught me so much about how to work, what to do, how do you get the paycheck. Oh, when you get paid in US dollars, don't exchange them straight away. Wait until the exchange rate is good so you don't lose any money. You get to learn so much stuff. He was even pranking me because I was a little boy. He would be like, oh, Giuseppe, this is your electricity bill that you need to pay. I didn't know we were supposed to pay for electricity bill. Then I learned that you don't pay for electricity bill, but he was just putting a prank on me. I realized it when I realized that the English was all wrong. But he tried his best. He was a funny guy from Germany. I loved him. And then I gave him a fake warning from the captain, but that's not stories. And mine was correct because I used paraphraser.com. Now there is the time when you first start, treat it and you respect it. We do cabin inspections, which are important. Why we do cabin inspection? Because we want to make sure that your environment is clean for yourself and as well for the next person coming in 6 months. We want to make sure you're treating your environment like you were treating your home, back home. We do have a laundry service for crew members where you can wash your uniform. Many crew members have 2 types of uniform, the morning uniform and the evening uniform. You see your waiters changing uniforms throughout the day. So you go there, you have 2 different uniforms, you have 2 sets. They give them to you by the company. You send them to the laundry, they will take care of it for you, and then you will go and collect it the next day, so that you always have fresh clothes. Some people ask me, do Celebrity give you your own clothes? No, I don't think Celebrity will ever like my colors. I buy these in Australia, actually, I think I got them, I don't remember. But as an entertainment, it's completely different because you wear your own clothes, it's so different. We share the environment, but as well, what is very, very nice, very beautiful, is the fact that we crew, we all kind of live in a certain area. So I give you an example. Down here, under the sphere, you have most of the entertainers, you have all the technicians. Behind the curtain, if we call it curtain, but it's a screen, behind the LED screen, you have all crew areas, you have crew rooms. You go up to deck 4 and deck 6, there's some crew areas right there. I'm going to show you some pictures. Most of us, we do live all on deck 2, which is called the I-95. Deck 3, deck 1, some of you say, is there a deck -14? No, there is not. This is not an iceberg. So we don't have deck -14. We do have engine room down there. We do have an area, we have an incinerator, where we go and you incinerate items. We do have an environmental officer who is in charge of the segregation of all items so that we avoid food waste, and we have food management as well. We have a great environmental and very strong project. And as well, for example, when I started, I was sharing the cabin, and then you move to a manager's cabin where you become a manager. Now, some people don't want to be a manager. You know that if you become a manager, you do get an increase in salary, an increase in working hours, a better cabin, but you also get a phone. And once you get a phone, it means that you are on call. So many people say, oh, I don't want to be a manager. I like my job. I'm good. I'd rather share a cabin and stay in my environment rather than having responsibilities. I like going to my working station, doing my job, and then disappearing, going to crew areas and not bothering about what's going on, only having the emergency duties in case anything happens. While other people say, I want to take on the responsibility, I want to move up in my career. And Celebrity Cruises has a learning and development management on board. You have an HR and an L&D. The L&D, the Learning and Development Manager, will help you training and learning more. Now this is the cabin of Christoph, your activity manager. I took a photo. He does know about it because I had it last cruise and he was like, was that my cabin? I said, yes. This is the cabin of another manager. Actually, this is a photo manager. So depending on your position, you get a better cabin. I remember when I was sharing with my mate, we became best friends. We had the best time, we were best buddies. When he later got married, he had a daughter, he invited me to the wedding, he invited me to the baptism. I did to go to the wedding, I couldn't go to the baptism because I was on a ship, I was working. So cool, you cannot really take days off and disappear and come back, that is not possible. So you do work, the length of your contract is usually, so the captain does 3 on and 3 off, because of the high responsibility that he has. He's in charge of safety of the whole ship. He is the authority here on board. He's the master. So for that, he does 3 on and 3 off. And even though you may think that nothing happens on a cruise ship, there's always some little things that you need to make sure that you're there for it. Then you have some crew members who do 4 months, like the hotel director. Cruise director usually do 4, I do 8 this time because it was the ship, it was going from one part of the world to the other part of the world, so they were looking for someone who could stay on board throughout the whole season instead of interchanging 2 cruise directors and losing me. I was supposed to disembark actually already, I was supposed to leave last cruise, but I'm staying until May, so I take the ship to Hawaii, then I take the ship to Alaska, and once we start the Alaska season, I can go home and somebody can take home. Then you have, that's the maximum length is around 9 months that you can do. Do we have crew members who want to extend? Yes. Do we have crew members who want to go more earlier? Yes. Family emergencies happen all the time. It happens all the time. Celebrity Cruises will make sure that you can go home safely, and when you return, you have a job. So you have an HR here on board who will assist you. And we all lived that, or we all heard that, or we all had to rearrange all the plans because somebody had to go home. And that happens because this is a living vessel, but it's also a living home. It's a city. It's a floating city, and trust me, it is. We have a crew gym downstairs. Miguel, that's where he spends most of his time. The technician right there. Look at his biceps. He's been there every day, 5 times a day. Yesterday, true story, he started the comedian and he said, no, there is no requirement for the lights for the comedian. It's just a spotlight following him around. I'm going to the gym. And then I'm returning at the end of the show. He said, come with me. And I was like, Miguel, I can't do that. I'm the cruise director. I can't just come down to the gym with you and then show up in gym clothes and say, hey! With this Miguel, he was like, that would be so funny. Now this, we have the outside area. We have an outside area to get fresh air. We have an outside area to go and drink a coffee outside, deck 6. And it's beautiful. I spend there a lot of time. I get 5-6 coffees a day. It's nice. And you have Cafe 365. Then Cafe 365 is our dining room. You go downstairs, you have international food, you have everything. And I would say it's open 24/7. And by that I mean, whilst my breakfast may be at 7 o'clock in the morning, for somebody 7 o'clock in the morning may be dinner because they work night shift. They have a different hour. So this ship is never stopping. It's a moving vessel. Even during the pandemic when we had nobody, it was still manned. There was still at least 100 essential crew members that had to stay on board. And even though the ship was powered off and there were no lights, there were still security supervisors, there were still electricians, engineers on board, bridge officers, there was everything. Even if the ship was in port, there had to be somebody to take care of this magnificent vessel. And they do a very good job. Now downstairs you find all types of food and it's amazing. I love going to Cafe 365 because you get to remove your name tag, you get to sit down and chat with a crew member about anything else. Oh, what you doing in Brisbane? Oh, did you sign up? Are you going to see the koalas? There was a conversation we were having yesterday and we organize crew shore excursions as well. So the crew can also go and they know that they have certain time and we do a tour for 2 hours, 3 hours, so they can go and enjoy as well. We do have a crew bar where you can go and you buy yourself Pringles, Doritos, sodas, you have Coca-Cola, you can get a bottle of wine, you have coffees, cappuccinos, and all of that. And it's very nice. And I love this area because you always have crew members they just go and interact with each other. There is a community board, people write down stuff like, oh, I'm looking forward to this sport. Anybody any recommendation? It's very cool, it's very nice, I love it. It's our environment. There is a whole world down here. You don't even realize it, but the ship is big, but also downstairs is very big, and it's our environment. I saw some of you doing the inside access tour, and you were walking in the crew areas, and then there was me coming up, and they were like, oh, Giuseppe, you're here too, you're everywhere. I'm like, I live here. We all live here. Some people were saying, oh, are you on the next cruise? Of course we are. We don't just come for one cruise, we come for a long time. We come for a big period of time here on board. We have a crew disco where you can go downstairs, and we do big celebrations. We had the Filipino Independence Day. I love Filipino Independence Day. It's amazing. You get to hear to their music, you get to experience their culture. We had Indian Independence Day, which was fantastic. You should see all the Indians when they all dance together. And even the most shy person will come and suddenly start dancing and loving it. It's beautiful. So you feel like you are part of an international culture, and it's a beautiful experience. We have karaoke nights for crew members, karaoke with the live band. Which is nice. We're doing a crossing, Sydney to Honolulu. During that cruise, we're gonna do some karaoke competitions for the crew members, and the winners will get to perform for the guests, because we have 11 days at sea. So we have a long time to do a lot of extra things. So I know so many of you coming back for that time. You know, during those cruises, 11 days at sea, you always come up with new stuff. And the crew members, they can't wait for it. They tell me, hey, Giuseppe, I'm gonna sing this song, what do you think about this? Oh, one crew member came to me, wanted me to correct their Italian because he wants to sing in Italian for the crew competition. And I loved it, it was beautiful. And I was going through the script and teaching how to pronounce things, and it was very nice. And I told you, but don't worry, like most of the people who sing in Italian on stage, like opera, most of them, they don't speak Italian, they just make up words. As long as it sounds nice, people will pay for that. Now this is me singing in the shower, and I'm joking. This random picture. Now food. What type of food do crew members eat? And is the food free? The food for crew members is free. The only charges will be if you want to buy external products. For example, we have a cruise shop. In the cruise shop, I went myself, I bought a pack of Tim Tams. We're in Australia, we buy them from outside, we sell them for the crew, so you can buy sealed packages, things. I love Tim Tams, I love them, and they're nice. So I got some, you know, sometimes I brush my teeth with Tim Tams, they're nice. And you find them downstairs. If you don't know what they are, they're this famous chocolate from Australia, which is gorgeous, delicious. In Australia, it's so popular. Now, we do have some cruise shops, we have all of that, but we do have food. Now, no rice, no power. Most of the crew members come from Asia, and by Asia I mean Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, many crew members from India, of course. So rice is very popular, it's on demand, it's part of the diet. We have a crew member here from Georgia, Manny, who just joined us last cruise, part of your activities team, and she was telling me, Giuseppe, I was shocked when I went for the first time to have breakfast, and there's so many crew members having rice for breakfast. And I said, I had the same feeling too, but then I realized they were shocked when they looked at me, and I was having espresso and croissant, and I was digging the croissant and the espresso. That's very normal in Italy. You get cappuccino and the croissant. For me, that's culture. And I was shocked when I saw them having rice. And then I tried espresso and rice, it doesn't work. But this is no rice, no power. And I would tell you, rice is part of the culture. And you have other products, noodles and chicken, very popular, stir-fried noodles. You have a section up in the Ocean View Cafe. Crew members love this. Crew members love fries. I didn't think crew members could love so much fries, but people do. And then I go up to the Ocean View Buffet, and I noticed that you too, you always get fries. Especially the first day of the cruise, when everybody come on the ship, crew members will go through all the phases like you do, which means you try everything for food. Now some of you are sick, first day of the cruise. Oh, there is a buffet. Oh, I just grabbed a plate. Oh, I can put anything on it. And I don't know anybody here. Nobody's gonna judge me. So you go first time, let's try, let's go gentle. Let's put a little bit of this steak, just a little steak. I know nobody. Let's put some watermelon, just in case people are watching. It's okay, just some watermelon. I don't even know what this fruit here is. It's orange, it looks healthy. Let's put it on the plate. Oh, they have dessert. Let's put the dessert over the watermelon because we're on a cruise ship. And then you put pizza on top, and then you put fries, and then you continue. We also do it. First contract, first week. Every crew member does it. And then you realize you cannot walk up the stairs anymore. You don't want to wait for an elevator, so you don't do it anymore. No, we have as well great food and dining rooms as well. If you go to a specialty restaurant, as I can remember, you pay an extra charge. You have a crew discount as well, but still you pay because it's a specialty restaurant. We go there to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries. Now Valentine's Day is happening next cruise on the 14th of February. Gentlemen, look at me, don't forget, Valentine's Day is coming. Buy something for your wife, or buy something for the mistress. It's important. Now, we don't have love and drama everywhere. It's normal, it's part of the process. Love and drama, people ask me, are crew members allowed to fall in love? We have a heart and it beats. We're no robot, we're no machines. And there was a saying used to say crew members have a girlfriend in every port. It's not true. Look at this cruise. We had 3 ports and 25 sea days, so it wouldn't really work. It doesn't work like that anymore, but we do have what is called a couple ID program. People meet their spouses on board. They sign up for the couple ID, they get to work on the same cruise ship, they combine their contracts, and it's beautiful. I met many crew members who met on a cruise ship, they got married, they came back to work as a couple, they had the first child, they left and they opened a business. They sell cruises. They have an agency. You know how many friends of mine, they work for Expedia and they sell cruises and stuff like that? And they met on cruise ships, yes. They met on cruise ships and it's amazing. And I love that. And we say there is love leads to drama. Why? Because you share the same environment. Once you sign up for the couple ID, you live in the same room. So it's not like, oh, I don't talk to you anymore, I'm not gonna see you. You're gonna leave, come back, same person, same room. You're gonna walk around the ship, deck 5, and say, oh, hi baby. And now we had an argument, I love you. So it's normal, you share the environment in here. And it's beautiful. They say if you survive a relationship on cruise ships, you can survive a relationship anywhere else. Because you create a build rapport. We call them relationships. And it's true. Also, why applying for a job at sea? You may wonder, why working on a cruise ship? And also you may wonder, what if you start and you don't like it? Can you go home? You have a 90 days time to get an evaluation from your manager. And we always joke, we say, oh, did you finish your 90 days? Because the 90 days when you can see if you actually love the job or not. Can you leave earlier? Of course you can. But the 90 days is when we can see if you're fit for a cruise ship, because it's an environment when you work every day. I started this contract one in September. I didn't get a day off since September, you know? You work every single day. But then you know you're gonna get weeks, if not months off when you go home. And when you're home, you're off. I switch off my phone, I switch off my social media, because my social media is also part of the work. I have almost 20,000 followers and it's part of the work. People ask me about shows, they ask me about cruise ships, they tag me on things. So when I go home, I'm going to Thailand. I'm gonna be gone for a while. Then I'm going to Sicily, I'm gonna cook for my family. And it's, when you cook for the family, there is always random cousins that you never met popping up. This is how it is in Sicily. So it's nice. So why apply for a job at sea? First of all, safety and security. We feel so safe and secure here, you have no idea. I never felt more safe in my life than I feel when I'm on board a cruise ship, because I know the safety protocols very well. I know how many drills we do. We do the crew drills. This cruise, just a few days ago with the crew drill, we're gonna have another one. We have a Master 2.0. We do so many training. Safety and security is our #1 priority for yourself, for ourselves too. We know exactly what to do in case of an emergency. And as well, even though I make it as entertainment, I'm gonna be the main voice with the captain in case something happens. We know exactly where to lead you, where to go, and what to do. And this ship is designed beautifully because we have life jackets everywhere. We have so many lifeboats, they are huge. You can accommodate so many people. Some of you were experiencing the lifeboats during the tender process, and you see that we have water, we have everything right there. Now, safety and security is our #1 priority. We feel very safe and secure. Today is a crazy world. Every day, today, this morning, I was reading the news, Sydney Harbour, woman beat by a shark. And then you go and you read the next news, this is happening there. Right now, I was looking at Petra, and I was like, wow, we were just about to go there in Jordan, there is a conflict. There is always something going on around the world. Here we feel very safe, very secure. This cruise, for your safety, we changed the itinerary around. And just up until a few days ago, you have no idea how many of you were messaging me on social media. They were like, are we gonna make it to Early Beach? The captain, together with the safety team and the meteorologist shoreside, they made a little arrangement so that we could make it to the port, to the destination, and feel safe and secure. And did you feel safe and secure? Wasn't it a good experience? Yes? It was perfect. Now, we feel safe and secure. I mentioned it last night as a joke that we have cameras everywhere, even in your cabins. I was joking, and I know so many of you went to the rooms and they were like, where is the camera Giuseppe talked about? Is it under the bed? Now we have cameras everywhere. Just in this theater, you have no idea how many cameras there are for your safety, for your security. And it's very important. If you lose something on the ship, we locate it. If there is an accident, we'll go find it. Do we have a brig? The brig, like Pirates of the Caribbean? We have a little cell. We do have a cell room downstairs. It's located on deck 2, not far from the gangway actually. And it's a cell where you can open it from the outside, but not from the inside. Do we have people there? Never crew. Always guests. Now, did I see anybody going to the brig? One time in 8 years. One time in 8 years. And let's say 8 years because it's going to be 8 years now in April. And I'm going to turn 8 years old on a cruise ship in just about some time. But it was just one time, and it was one thing. It was one person. You know, we were stopping in Cartagena, Colombia. The person bought a lot of souvenirs. He didn't realize that together with the souvenirs, there was a bag of stuff that he wanted to export to the United States. He didn't realize it, you know, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you go, you buy a souvenir, you open the matryoshka, and inside you find, it happens, you know, it could happen to anybody, you know, especially when it's like kilos of stuff. It could happen. So when you buy your souvenirs, just watch what's inside. So of course we alert the authorities, we alert the police, we have communication with the police, with the port agent, with the security. In your daily program, you always find the number of the port agent for security reasons. So we do have agreements. We put the person in the brig, in the cell for a few minutes. Until we alerted the authorities came and they took the person away. Now, many of you may ask, why does it say Valletta on the ship? The ship is registered in Malta, capital city, Valletta. Many of you come from Malta and live in Australia because there was a huge immigration of people going at the time from Sicily and Malta going all to Australia. And Valletta, Malta, we register ships there because if you have a ship registered in Valletta, you can have a huge number of nationalities on board. We have 70 disc crews, 70 nationalities, it's amazing. And also tax reasons, it's better, Malta is good, it's small, and they have great laws as well. Food and accommodation, we don't pay for food, we don't pay for accommodation. No, we don't pay for electricity. An international job experience. Now this is, I hear it from many crew members, they tell me, I work here for 6 months. This is better than any job because you get to live in an environment where you learn constantly every day. You never stop learning and you never do one job. Some of you are telling me, oh, we saw you helping with the tender and we saw you hosting a guest relations talk and everything. You get to do so many things outside of your job. You get to learn so much. And when you go home, you have so much a baggage of culture and experience, which is amazing. Only my first contract, I remember translating documents for authorities. I remember sitting down with authorities coming on board and doing a lot of things. I was like, wow, I never expected this to be my job. You get to learn so much, and you work with crew members from all around the world. I didn't even know that New Caledonia was a thing. I always thought it was something from National Geographic or stuff. We went there with the ship a few cruises ago, first time in my life. I arrived in New Caledonia and I was like, this is real. We get to visit the world, we get to go to places that you never heard of before. I have many crew members here from housekeeping, they are from Madagascar. For me, Madagascar was a movie. I didn't know it was a country. I had no clue. You can study as much as geography as you want, but in Italy, we study European geography. So we know everything about every single place in Europe. We don't know much about the rest of the world. So you get to learn so much. I remember learning about the culture from places like India, and I was fascinated by it. I remember when we were going through the Suez Canal, we had external pilots. There was a moment when we slowed down with the ship. We were passing by a religious site, and the pilot, which was an external pilot, asked everybody to stay silent. He removed his shoes, he went down and started praying, and we couldn't talk. For me, that was such an amazing cultural experience. It was fantastic. So you get to share the environment with so many people, you get to learn so much, and it's amazing. Now, diversity. I work for this company not only because I love celebrity, but one thing they're very good at is diversity and inclusion. You never feel like you're not part of the team of celebrity. They are amazing at it. We were the first ever company to have the highest number of female officers in the whole industry. This was amazing. There's a even bigger round of applause. We had the first female American captain, Captain Kate McHugh, the first female Ecuadorian captain. We had so many, just by talking about it, I remember the announcements, I remember being there when they were making this happen, and how many things we changed. You have no idea how many friends of mine from Italy, they finished maritime school because I live next to Taormina, there's a maritime school right there, and they say, well, I want to work for your company. And many children I meet, they know what I do, and they say, I'm learning English because I want to be just like your captain, because I want to be a lady on a cruise ship representing Italy. And it's beautiful. We're sharing a message which is so strong. We're sharing diversity and inclusion all across the world, and they say we don't mind that, we bridge the gap, which is beautiful, and I love that. We did, back in 2020, for International Women's Day, right before the pandemic, we did a cruise when every single officer, the high position, was a female officer, just to show the world that you can make a difference. And it was beautiful. You have no idea how many things happened after that. It was an effect. Now, travel the world. This is one of the reasons why people want to work on a cruise ship. They want to travel the world. And you wonder how many hours a day you get. Yesterday, I give you an example. Early beach, I worked until what, 2:30? Then I got on a 10, then I got off. I had to be back at 5:30. But I can say I've been to Early Beach. I visited it. We always try our best to get off in ports in Sydney. Crew members love it. You know why? You just walk. It's so easy. It's so nice. We go to ports like Dubai, Abu Dhabi. We came with the ship. There's crew members who told me I came to this contract, to this ship, because I'm going to be able to see so many bucket list destinations and mark them off that I'm never going to see on my own. We get a Siemens book, we get passports, documents. Now, I was very lucky because back in 2018, I managed to visit all 7 continents in one contract. And by that I mean, I started with a ship that was sailing the Caribbean. Then I got moved to another ship in another part of the world, then another ship in another part of the world, another part of the world. I got to see everything before they officially promoted me to cruise director, because they were having me learning from other cruise directors. And at the time, I became the youngest cruise director in the history of Royal and Celebrity. I was 24 when they promoted me. It was amazing. It was beautiful. And that was such an experience, because they were like, we need you to learn from this person. We need to send you on the other side. The celebrity really fosters and the culture. Now, I started, and I mentioned this because it was amazing. I started in the Caribbean on a horse. Didn't even know what I was doing. I signed up for a crew tour where you go horse riding. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was the highlight of my contract. I didn't know that later on I was gonna go to Portugal. This is a place called the Sete Cidades in Ponta Delgada, in Portugal. We did a crossing from the Caribbean. You stop in Portugal first before you reach Amsterdam. We went to Tenerife, Gran Canaria in Spain. Oh, that's just a horse. I love horses. Sydney, Australia. My first time in 2018 arriving in Australia, I was crying because as an Italian going to Australia for the first time, it was so emotional, it was amazing. I arrived in Sydney and I didn't want to return to the ship. I was so happy, I loved it. Then we went, oh sorry, that's my garage. That's different. I wish. That's Monte Carlo, where there is more Ferraris than human beings. Then we went to New York. For me, it was a dream going to New York. I always wanted to go to the Big Apple. There is a lot of Italians, Sicilians specifically, 1890s, 1920s, they immigrated to the United States. We're talking about the family of Frank Sinatra, the family of Lady Gaga, the family of Martin Scorsese, family of many famous people. Even Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone. His family came from Sicily, they immigrated to the United States, and they all went to New York. Some of them made a mistake, they ended up in New Jersey. But that was a different story. I'm joking. And at the time we went to New York, you saw, it was fantastic. We stopped actually in New Jersey, which was amazing. We went to see Bon Jovi, because Bon Jovi, little did you know, that his family came from 20 minutes away from my home in Sicily. His real name is actually Bongiovi. You can Google it and you find information about his family. It's Pisa, I just got to discover my own country. I used to have a page called Handstands Around the World. Then I deleted it because my mother didn't like my crazy stuff like this one. This was Ushuaia, the end of the world. There is a place in Argentina, right before you go to Antarctica, you stop in Ushuaia. And it's called the end of the world. And I remember the captain calling me on the bridge, saying, Giuseppe, we need to make an announcement. And he starts the announcement and he goes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of the world. Captain, I think we should rephrase this announcement next time. So it doesn't sound good. It's like when you get on an elevator on a cruise ship and it says, going down. Same feeling. This is my favorite spot in the world. Now, I share this story and it's part of the soul contract because my dream was going to Iceland. I wanted to go to Iceland. I have many bucket list destinations. We couldn't get off at that time. We had drilled. I had so many activities, so many things. And I was sad the whole day. I was like, oh, I want to go out. It's right there. I see from the 14, I cannot go out. What happened is that we realized we were staying overnight. We realized that it was not going to get dark. Right? So we said, why don't we book a car? We parked the car outside of the ship, and then when we finished work at midnight, we go around. We did. All the national parks in Iceland, they are free and they're open. So we went to see the waterfalls, we went to see the geysers exploding right before our eyes. This was 6 a.m. in the morning. I had duty at 9 o'clock. I came back, I took coffees and a Red Bull, a little power nap, ready to work. But that's how you do it. You want to discover the world. We always say you choose, either you go to sleep or you go out and see the world. So this is how it is, even on the cruise ship. Many people, some of you were like, oh, we had a big party last night, we're not going out tomorrow. Go out, experience the port. This was Falkland Islands, Antarctica. I was there with Celia Garland, actually, who's about to do a talk in here. And Celia Garland took me to swim with sea lions. And it was beautiful, and she told me, Giuseppe, don't touch them. I said, they're everywhere, look, they're nice. With one bite, they can get your whole arm. True story. And we went there, we went to Falkland Islands at the time, to this place where the penguins are everywhere. There is more penguins than human beings. There is a sign saying, with penguins only beyond this point. And it's fantastic. You see them protecting the babies, protecting the little ones. And he's standing. I did this excursion with the ship, and I was like, oh my God, I'm spending so much money, it's so expensive. Today, do you think I remember how much money I spent? No, what I remember is this. I remember that. It was beautiful. And I remember as well that I proposed to the penguin, but she said no. And I wore a jacket that was black and white on purpose, so I was sitting next to the penguins. And this is how I finished my contract. Now, this is something that I always mention. Hospitality, we do it very well here on cruise ships. I think in any restaurant that I worked for, I was able to connect when I was 16, 17. I started working at the age of 14 because that's the mentality in Sicily. Once you are able to walk and you're able to ride a scooter or a bicycle, you go to work. And I started working in restaurants, and I remember hospitality there we were doing it very well, but we had what, 20 tables? Here we got 3,000 people and 1,200 crew members. We do hospitality at its finest in our environment. We do it very well, which is amazing. And then there was one cruise when I was about to finish my contract, and I mentioned that I wanted to go skydiving, but I was scared. I was unaware of the fact that one of the owners of Skydive Dubai was on board our cruise ship. The person saw me every night in the theater. I was talking on TV. We had a great connection. He invited me to go skydiving for free, to go over the palm tree in Dubai. I spoke to him the whole time. I was excited, I was in tears. It was amazing, it was a good time. And I remember I didn't even pay my attention to what they were saying until the point where they go, "You ready? Jump!" Can we go back? You realize when you're there, you cannot go back. And it was beautiful, it was gorgeous. Sometimes you need someone to push you. And I realized that by saying hello to a stranger, I gained a friend. And I gained an amazing experience, and we still talk to this day, and it's beautiful. There is many of you, many guests that I see this cruise that I've met on previous cruises. There is a couple here from Canada. They met me in 2016, then we saw each other again in 2017. We didn't see each other since 2024. They came on the cruise ship, they surprised me, and they were coming to Australia for the first time, and they told me, "Oh, I heard it's very hot in Sydney." This was last cruise when they came on board. They're living now. "I heard it's very hot in Sydney. You have almost 40 degrees Celsius. Crazy, you must be dying." And then I walked by Cafe El Bacio and I see them saying hello to me. I was like, wow, we haven't seen each other. We were sharing photos of 2017 together. They say, choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. And we learned how much we loved it when we lost it. And today, to this very day, when people say, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years from now? I don't know, but I like where I am right now, and I really do. In 10 years from now, I may have, I don't know, 7, 8 children. And that's normal, it's part of the process. I'm joking, baby. My girlfriend just looked at me, she's like, what? Now, this was 2016 BC, before cruise ships. And then 2024 AC, after cruise ships. I was very fortunate to see some places that today, they don't allow cruise ships. I was very fortunate to see some places where today there's conflicts. Very fortunate to see some places where even though I had an hour, I can still mark it off the list. And we went to Bali with the ship just before coming over to Australia. It was amazing. Next cruise we're going to New Zealand. It's going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to all of that. Now, why then? Why working on a cruise ships? We said safety and security. We said international job experience, food and accommodation. You get to travel the world. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows it. Why you do any job. You do it for love, and you also do it for money. And these I hear from crew members that tell me, Giuseppe, here I get to save money. I don't pay for the food, I can provide for my family. And I've met many crew members who told me, I came back after the pandemic because I lost everything. And I needed to provide for my family. I realized that if I do 8 months here, and I don't spend any money, and I try to save as much money as possible, I can really provide for my family. And I know crew members who literally send 100% of the salary back home to their families. They don't even care about where we're going. They're just happy the fact that they can support their families and they can do it. And I hear from some crew members coming from Philippines, Indonesia, where they tell me, Giuseppe, the salaries in the Philippines are very low. They're very low. People live with nothing. Here we get a great salary. We can send money back home. And our families, our wives, they finally love us. And this is beautiful because I have to say, actually, today it's kind of crazy, even in my country, in Italy. Italy is beautiful, but the inflation is crazy. They're raising the prices, but they're not raising the salaries. So it was very good when a few years ago, my mother always paid for my studies. She sent me to Germany to study at the University of Berlin, and I did a lot of things. And then I was able to help her when she was in need. For me, that was everything. That's when I realized I could do it. Now I'm gonna finish by talking about family, because family for me is very important. And I always mention my mother, and I always mention my family. And you heard me talking about my nephews. You might have heard me talking about my brother Vincenzo. It's great. Crew is family, and crew is everything. Crew is not only crew. I have my mama here on board backstage. She's my stage and production manager, Dee. She's been in the business forever. She's the one calling me, says, Giuseppe, 7:28, stop talking to people, come backstage, you need to go on stage. And I'm there by the sound booth. Oh, what did you do today? What did you do? I love her for it. She's the mama. I have my brother here on the ship. I got my sister, I got everybody. And by that I don't mean my real brother, I mean my ship brother, which is fantastic. When a few months ago, a very dear person of mine left us and I had to go home, I realized that when I came back, I had here on board a very, very special person that would take care of me. And by that I mean my boss, my manager, being a great leader and a great friend as well, saying we are here for you, and it was fantastic. So this is a couple I met on my first contract, and I mention them all the time. You know why? Because they met on a cruise ship, they fell in love, they got married on the cruise ship, they renewed their vows on the cruise ship 5 years, not long ago, just now, and as well, they had their first child, and they named the first baby John. Yeah, I thought they were calling Giuseppe, but they went for John. I was hoping, but nothing. Actually, John Alberto Hernandez. And I was like, you could add a third name, John Alberto Giuseppe Hernandez. Nothing. This is a photo I shared because this was when I was leaving celebrity for good, because they were canceling my position. They were getting rid of the translator and interpreter. They say we're only going to appeal to and gear towards the clientele who speaks English as a first language or speaks English very well. So I said goodbye to everybody. I said ciao, ciao, ciao. And then I returned with another job. Same ship. And the same people who said goodbye to me and they cried tears. They were like, you're back. And now you work for another department? Now you're entertainment? Really? It was very funny. Even better was when then some of them, they came to me when I became a cruise director. They said, my dream is working for entertainment. How can I apply? And I was like, really? And they were like, yes, if you did it, then anybody can do it. And this is a photo I shared because this was the 1st of January 2020. My colleagues and I went to Mexico. We went to a pool. We got a call. We were gonna launch the Celebrity Apex. We were all, every single person in this photo was assigned to go on the ship. We were celebrating the fact that 2020 was going to be the best year in the cruise industry. We were so stupid. We didn't know what was going to. I think we jinxed it for the whole cruise line. But we were there. This is me next to my very good friends right now. Actually, she just got a child, Sam from Liverpool. And I was checking the photos on Facebook because right now we have social media, so you get to speak. And this is my best friend, Florian Kovacs from Slovakia. And I always make sure that I have him in this photo. One cruise I didn't have this photo. I don't know how, but he heard that I didn't have the photo. So I make sure it's there. And this is a photo that we posted at the time, and Celebrity Cruises reshared. They thought we were an LGBTQ couple. They didn't know we were best friends. It was fun. They were like, oh, they're sharing this in June, Pride Month. There must be a couple. And I'm like, no. Our girlfriends were very jealous. Now, goodbyes. Goodbyes, I want to share these for two things. The first thing, goodbyes today are no longer goodbyes. In the old times, people used to go on a cruise ship, go away from home for 8 months. You know what a captain once told me? He said, Giuseppe, I remember when there was a phone booth, a line of crew members who only had an hour. Instead of seeing wherever we were, they were going to exchange currency, get coins, and then wait, turn in line to get to the phone booth, call home, hoping that somebody would pick the phone and say, hi, I'm here, I'm alive. We are in we'll be silent. And I wanted to say hello. That was, at the time, it was crazy. If you think today how privileged we are to be able to just have a phone. I grabbed my phone this morning right before I went to the gym to get ready for the day, because I like doing a quick workout in the morning, 30 minutes, I'm up all day. It's good energy. I grabbed my phone, WhatsApp text to my mama. Voicemail, in 2 seconds. You know how good that is? How crazy it is right now to be able to do that. It makes me feel like it's never a goodbye. It makes me feel like I'm still at home. It makes me feel like I'm still connected to everybody. And it's beautiful. You say goodbye to people, you get to see them again. It's amazing. Cedar Garland's about to come right in here. We did many concerts together. I never felt like we said goodbye. Even though I didn't see her, I was counting today. I didn't see her since Antarctica, which was 2018 into 2019. Almost 5 years. It felt like yesterday. So it's nice and it's beautiful because we don't really say goodbye. Now it's no longer like it used to be when people used to say goodbye to the lady and then disappear for months and you never know if they were going to return. Today it's easy. We're very thankful because communication right now has been elevated and we're able to talk to each other by tapping on a screen. It's very true. But we should be very grateful for the fact that we're able to connect to each other on a higher level and constantly at all times. I'm going to finish by saying that despite the fact that we are all in here all together, living and sharing this world of cruising all together, and working intensively, there's not even one single moment when you look at a crew member in an elevator or something, you look at the name tag, you try to learn the culture, you try to appreciate the culture, you try to learn a little bit more and see why there is an I before the name, because they come from Bali and it's not just Indonesia. You get to learn so much. Why Giuseppe is spelled G-I-U? Some people, you know, many people ask me, not G-U-I. It's part of our pronunciation. We learn so much, and it's beautiful that we're able to share just a few information on who we are right here. And the celebrity allows us to share a few information from our heart to yours. We hope you appreciated this little information about the celebrity cruises and life at sea. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next 80 years of my life on cruise ships. If not, the next 80 years, and then maybe my son will be hosting this talk. Or my daughter, according to my. Thank you so much for